Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 179 of the All in Football Fantasy Premier League show and podcast. I am your host, the self-proclaimed FPL guru, Alex Rex, and joining me today are my usual suspects, Scott Williams and Barry Stokes. The voice of the people, Scott Williams, the differential king, Barry Stokes. Barry, where in the world are you today?
Usual lay-by, trusty faithful. For might as well finish the season off in this lay-by. So why not?
Just don't leave. Don't leave.
I
Go on.
drove past the lay-by the other day, and I was like, "There's always the same car in there." And I thought, I wonder if they're doing a rival FPL podcast.
Just the one labour.
I'd be that odd dogging.
It's possible. I don't think Baz is doing that. Even though he would have tracked it in his Tesla. So I do think though, Baz, you aren't moving because you're still in, aren't you? You're still in a competition.
Correct.
We'll cover that in a second, but you're still in. Scott, voice of the people. How are you today?
Good, mate. Good. Flying out with this game week, so things are going well. I'm looking good in the draft mode as well. So yeah, not bad, mate. Not bad.
FPL is rosy for you in game week 36. A lot rosier than the hangover that I had on Sunday and then still had on Monday from Tom's wedding. Congratulations, Tom Hughes, obviously one of the initial hosts of the FPL podcast. I'm getting married at the weekend. What a lovely weekend that was. So well done to you. Shame your FPL career is going down the toilet. Anyway, don't forget to follow us, social media platforms, All in Football Pod, All in Football P on X, Instagram, and TikTok. I've been enjoying my TikToks. Been stepping up my game. Don't forget to like the YouTube video and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Get us to that 100 subscribers by the end of the year. And also Spotify, 5 stars, wherever you get your podcast from. Click the little bell icon. And you will get notifications as soon as Barry, the man, uploads this podcast. And don't forget also the FPL Affairs group, where Barry will also post this as well. Right, episode 179, Hammer Blow, we've decided to call it. One of the main reasons is because of West Ham. Were they screwed? Was it a disgrace? Or was it just the right decision, Scott?
I mean, it's the right decision, but I was a little walk on my lunch break earlier, and I like to listen to Monday Night Club. Obviously, talking about it on there, and it's one of those. It is the right decision, but I think it's not been given. You can look back on the season. You can look back even in April, where the same foul has not been given. So it is a foul. He's preventing Raya doing either catching it or giving it a better punch. So it is a foul, unfortunately. But it's that you said it straight away in our group. It's going to be that consistency piece where it's not, and it's really clear cut in like other countries around the world with VAR, like Spain, Italy, etc. It's just we've decided to tweak the rules a little bit, and they're going to have to be looked at again because we've talked about grappling all season, and there's just so many grey areas and whatnot. But unfortunately, it is a foul. But and it came to the right conclusion, and it is a big moment. And I actually found that there's been four times, or there's been four refs this season that's been asked to review it and stayed with the decision. And the referee in that game was one of them, so he has got it in him. I didn't mind the fact that it took ages. It was the biggest decision of the season.
Totally agree, Scott.
Yeah,
totally agree. Just anybody who has a problem with how long that took is to get a grip. It's one of the biggest decisions of the season. They got it right. They got it right.
3 months ago. 3 months ago, yeah, crack on with it. But no, not at all. That because it don't only affect Arsenal, it affects West Ham as well, of course. So didn't mind it, but yeah, body blow for West Ham, and yeah, you can always feel aggrieved. And look, if it was the other way around, Arsenal would feel aggrieved for not getting the foul. So yeah, right decision.
When you look, I think VAR had a pretty nightmarish weekend, to be fair, overall. But except for that decision, they obviously got right. I mean, I think if maybe the other lad wasn't grabbing Raya's shirt as well as the other guy putting his arm across, because Trossard kind of like ran the other player into him, didn't it? There's just so much grappling. And Arsenal have just been clever about it this season, I think, as well. And have made their own look. But there've been some weird decisions this weekend. Like, I mean, I know no one cares about Man United 0, Sunderland 0, but Bruno got punched in the face by someone who ran past him. He literally, the guy like just went and threw his arm out at him. It was crazy. And the Villa game, which was 2-2, And then Buendia got his foot stood on in the penalty area to the point where his boot got ripped off and his sock was physically ripped across the back. And then the referee went, no, 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 don't worry. It was an accident.
There's a natural
What?
coming together.
What? What do you mean? He's just stamped on the back of it. So what could we say? Like, oh yeah,
If I'm messing about with a gun and I kill someone, I still get punished for it. It might not be murder, but it's a punishable offence.
Well, I mean, it's definitely comparable.
I mean, I'm really annoyed now because I didn't even know that happened, and I've got Buendia in draft.
Oh yeah, should have won a penalty.
Yeah,
It was mental. Like it was one of those things where he literally stood on the floor. He had his boot off and his sock was ripped, and he was just looking at the ref like, "What do you want me to do?" So and then I don't know did you see the Spurs Leeds thing last night? I've not seen this one, but my Spurs mate at work is like, it's a Stonewall penalty. What the hell's going on? That's what he said.
Yeah, Stonewall. He takes his head off. So yeah, and you even know with the player, it's hampered you. You just know he's not the kind of guy to sort of dramatise it either. So yeah, Stonewall pen.
No, the one at the
Right
end.
at the end.
Oh,
Madison the tackle on Madison. I've not seen it. Apparently, it's a Stonewall pen.
I think he gets a slight touch to the ball and that stops it.
And Madison goes. Madison goes into him. And he kind of looks at. It's one of those where I think it's on field decision. I don't think he's getting turned over.
Yeah.
Was it a Vardy style where he kind of like throws his leg into him a little bit, or was
Slightly, yeah, slightly.
I used to love the Jamie Vardy penalties that he used to win by doing that. He used to just kick the other player and go down. It was like, oh, win, got it though, didn't he? But it was an interesting decision, and I think it has been very much overanalyzed. But yeah, something's got to stop this grappling. And the VAR decisions and the time wasting stuff. I know we're not even getting into FPL yet. We're already about 5 minutes in. But the amount of time it takes, I've banged on about this for ages. I think we should do 30-minute halves and the clock should stop. And the game has changed. And I know everyone's like 45 minutes and at a time, and that's the way it's always been. But we haven't always had VAR. And for me, it's the only way you can get rid of time wasting, get rid of feigning injuries. You get rid of people moaning about how long it takes to do a VAR decision. The same amount of time gets played in every single game. I think the matches would be more enjoyable to watch because no one would get any benefit other than maybe stopping the flow of momentum from taking the time on things. That's something that I'm pretty thought about for a while. I'm pretty strong on it. Hey, would do any comeback on that, lads? Terrible idea, Al. Awful. Like it. Don't like it.
Terrible. For me,
Thanks, Baz.
for me, I think it should just be, if it's clear and obvious, take a minute to look at it, and then obviously then it's clear, or it's not obvious. So
we'll have a countdown clock.
Yeah, have a countdown clock on the VAR.
If you can't make a decision in a minute, VAR, then it's not clear and obvious, and it should
stick with the rest decision. It'll just speed it up a bit. Like I say, it shouldn't take that long to know that Pablo's holding Raya's hand for a good 5 minutes, probably longer than I hold Amy, and she's my wife's hand. So I don't understand. He's holding the hand, the elbow's literally in his like neck. It shouldn't take that long to say disallow it. I just didn't get it. Yes, it was a big decision, but it's clear and obvious it's a foul. Just get over it. Have a minute. Done. Easy. Speeds up the game. No brainer.
I think we should do that when we talk to you about Fulham players as well.
Yeah,
we should get the clock on the Everton team or Fulham team.
I'm thinking of poker now. Do we give the VAR officials like a couple of time banks as well? They could throw it in for a bigger decision.
I love that. It turns into poker.
Not a bad shout.
Yeah, I like that.
Managers have the time bank though.
Yeah, give buzz them.
It's either that or it comes like a claim system, doesn't it, or something, or like a challenge system like tennis and stuff.
We're going baller league here, aren't we now?
Oh God, I hate the baller league and I hate everything that it stands for. Right.
Talk about who's set for manager of the week then. Come on.
Someone called Scott Williams with Aaron Wan-Bissaka nil. Sorry,
Aaron
I should say it better. Aaron Wan-Bissaka nil. Sorry, I'll say it properly, Scott. 105 points, pretty much nailed on. Raya, Gabriel, Mukiele. Do you know what, Scott? Sorry, I'll give you a moment. You talk through it. You talk through your team. Go on.
Yeah, Raya and Gabriel, obviously big point returns. Double Arsenal, pretty standard. Mukiele and Maguire. I know this was my kind of decision, and I had Maguire on the bench because I thought I don't know. Anyway, I probably got quite lucky. Got a 0-0. Maguire got bonus. Happy days. Brought Doku in, so I brought Doku in for Mbeumo this week. Returned obviously 11 points. Semenyo still not returning much. Bruno and Rogers pretty dry. And then another player I brought in, Beto, got a goal, got a bonus point. Nice return. Watkins as well, goal bonus. I kept him in there, and then TC on Haaland. It might be the only points it gets me though, but it's not a bad return really. You're not grumbling about 33 in a triple game week when it's the kind of player everyone's got. We'll see if he gets any minutes tomorrow night.
Why would he not? FA Cup final, I think.
Well, Pep's come out and said he needs to do some rotation, so
yeah. Boring.
You're still chasing the league, Pep. That's not right.
Well, I mean, they are and they're not. I mean,
hey, who have Arsenal got last game? Can't remember.
Crystal Palace away.
Yeah, and of course they've got the conference after that, haven't they? Yeah.
And the thing is, as well, it's 3 days after because it's Sunday and the conference final's on a Wednesday.
Yeah, whereas, they're going to play the kids, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So they've moved Villa Liverpool to Friday night, which is why the deadline's Friday. Everyone, Nino, Friday deadline. Everybody, don't get pissed and miss it like me. Literally, like they've moved the Villa Liverpool one so that then Villa will have 2 extra days before the Europa League final on the Wednesday. They can't do that with the Palace game because all the final day fixtures have to take place at exactly the same time. So it's going to have to. It's just it's a gimme for Arsenal now. To be honest, that decision was the Premier League title, basically, in a decision. Because imagine, I've been pretty. I've tried to not be as like people have talked about this. It's the biggest bottle in history if they lose it from here. Like they said that like 10 weeks ago on that fan debate. I mean, I don't know that Arsenal fans on about. He's an absolute nightmare, that bloke on Sky Sports. But like now it really would be the biggest bottle job. If they bottle it from here, Burnley at home and then Crystal Palace's kids away. Wow. Yeah. Oh. Anyway, yes, Haaland triple captain by 1.16 million managers this week. 1.4 million managers use the triple captain. It's the most used chip of the season this week. 1.4 million triple captains used. Scott, you're on there at 105. I'll have a look who wins without a chip. The real manager of the week. Ella.
I think have we ever had a couple both get a game week manager of the week? That's what I want to know.
I don't think so because I don't think Baz's wife gives a shiny one about football.
Well, do you know I'm thinking of? The Tomlinsons.
Ooh.
Whoever they are.
Well, I mean, who's Nicola's partner? I don't know. We're gonna offend somebody by accident, aren't we? Because like I know David Tomlinson has had a manager of the week, but I don't know how he's related to Nicola. So
let's say the husband and wife.
Yeah, let's do it. Why not? Hope we haven't offended anyone. The cup games are all but sealed near enough, Baz, aren't they? Not for you. It's pretty tight for you.
Yeah, no.
So the top game, Stefan against Ben. There's 12 points in it. Ben's winning by 12 points. And Ben's also played his triple captain on Haaland. Basically, O'Reilly is going to have to outscore Shirky by loads, and Haaland's not going to have to play. Well, by loads. Haaland's going to not have to play, and O'Reilly's got to outscore Shirky by 12 points or more. That's what's going to happen in that one for Stefan to turn it around. Paul versus Judith. Judith's got a 10-point lead on this one, but Paul does have 4 players left compared to Judith's 3. They both have Haaland, but also there are 3 different players for Paul, so it is still possible. So he's got Donnarumma, Semenyo, and Camvo, whereas Judith's got O'Reilly and Doku. So if Donnarumma, Semenyo, and Camvo outscore O'Reilly and Doku by more than 10 points, then it can get overturned. So still a chance in that one. Still a chance. And Nicola against Jeff. Sorry, Jeff, you're doomed, mate. Unless Semenyo outscores Bernardo by more than 10 points.
It could happen.
It could, but difficult. And then Barry, you've got Donnarumma, Doku triple captain, and Nunes left. Versus O'Reilly, Shirky, and Haaland. But there's no triple captain though.
He's also got Saar to play as well.
Oh, we've got Sarr. Good shout. Sorry, got Sarr as well. Yes, that's what that scribble meant. I wrote down
David Burns. So I
yeah,
feel there the season he's having.
Yeah, it's David Burns' world, and we're just living in it. To be honest, in terms
Especially
of
that
FPL,
Calvert-Lewin penalty as well. I was like, oh god, that's made it even twitchy bum time.
Yeah, it's not what you need, is it? But quarterfinals, hotting up, 1 week left. Right, lads, we've had a lovely chat to start with. I've really enjoyed the start of this podcast. Thought I'd just drop that one in there straight away. Fixtures for the rest of the season. How are we going to go about picking which teams to invest in? And because there's only two games left, obviously. I think what we need to be looking at is a combination of form of players, more specifically than teams, and what people have got left to play for. So I think it's relatively obvious we should all be tripling up on Arsenal if possible. It's just not relatively obvious who to triple up on. Double defence seems like a fairly logical thing, Scott, which is what you've got. And in terms of attackers, Baz, are we still leaning mostly on probably a Saka and maybe a Gyökeres situation, or just what do you think? Or double defence is your preference? What do you think, mate?
I think looking at them fixtures, Burnley and obviously Crystal Palace reserves or under 21s or whatever you want to call it, is it crazy to go triple Arsenal defence? Burnley don't look like potentially going to score, and obviously how good Arsenal are in defence. I mean, Gyökeres is so erratic with his finishing. He's like, it's so unpredictable on how he plays. He looks really good, and then next thing you know, he can't hit barn door, and he bounces off him, trampoline foot. Saka's in and out as well. He's not been obviously his best form, so it's. I think I would probably look at triple Arsenal defence.
What do you think, Gabriel and Saliba? Because they're the ones who probably nailed to start. I know White's now out for the season, isn't he? So is Mosquera going to play at right back, maybe?
Correct. That's what I would probably look at doing. Mosquera would be a very good differential, but you'd have to go for Saliba, Gabriel, and Raya. But then there's quite a bit of money tied up in your defence.
Yeah, but I think
just say something really quickly, just on the Mosquera thing. I know he rectified his error, but in what mind was Arteta thinking moving Declan Rice to right back was a good idea?
Oh, he had a right brain fart there and got away with that. That was a weird moment, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he got it right in the end. But
as soon as he did that, they got West Ham were all over him. He was flying through that middle of the park.
Yeah,
it was crazy. I mean, fair play for him to not just doing like what Amarin would have done and just stuck by his guns. He actually went, I've messed up here. Let me change it around. Yeah, I thought that was a bit mental.
No, Amarin got it right and then made it wrong again. That's even more ridiculous. What I will say is, in terms of away form for Burnley, so they've only got 9 points on the road this season, and if it lets me go to it, which it will, they've got the worst defence away from home. They've got 45 goals that they've conceded so far this season, which is about 2.5 goals a game. I do get the triple defence shout. It would have to be Gabriel, Saliba, and Raya. But yeah, I think if I'm sat there at the moment and I've got Gabriel and Raya, I look probably at someone like Gyökeres, because Saka's still just going to get his minutes managed. But with Saka being back, and that seems to have made Odegaard just a better player. So what I'm just going to say in terms of a draft pick, if you haven't got, most leagues might have Odegaard taken with the fixtures left, but if you're in a small draft league, you might not be. So he's somebody who now seems to be brought to life by the fact that Saka's back. Yeah, if it was me, I'd go double defense and gamble on one of the attackers personally. But I'm not. I'm not.
Great pick for draft, Odegaard.
Yeah, but have you got him?
Yeah,
nice. But I'm definitely not anti the triple defense, Baz. I don't think it's a bad shout at all. Villa, Liverpool at home, City away. That Liverpool game is massive for both teams, really. It's cement Champions League football. Weirdly enough, I think if they draw it, then Bournemouth have to win both their last two games.
We've seen the
So
mad thing that could happen if Villa get six and Brentford would then potentially have to lose to Liverpool or something. Oh,
yes, so everybody wants Villa to come fifth and win the Europa League.
mm,
That's
yeah.
what everybody wants to happen because that means that six becomes a Champions League spot in the Premier League, which means that all of these teams, and I'll get the league up now, it's in front of me, which means that all these teams still have an opportunity of getting into the Champions League. So Bournemouth are on 55 points. So everyone who's within 6 points of Bournemouth, which is Brighton, Brentford, Chelsea, and Everton, all still have an outside chance of getting the Champions League. So everybody wants beneath them Aston Villa to finish fifth and win the Europa League. So yeah, but yeah, there's
The weird stat where like Brentford would have to could have to lose the last game in the season to let Liverpool finish ahead of Villa or something like that, and then Brentford would get Champions League.
I don't know if they can get Champions League that way. I think they can get Europa League that way rather than Conference League, or they can be, or the eighth can become a European place. But either way, I think they still need Villa to win the Europa League. I think that's what has to then happen. But yeah, it's they need because they're playing Liverpool on the last day of the season, aren't they, Brentford? So
Yeah.
yeah, they basically would need to either like probably draw or lose, and then have Villa because then they would stay in fifth, would then create an extra European space. Like when mental, but either way, Villa are going to have to win that Europa League final for it to happen. But you're not going to invest in any Villa players at this very moment in time, that's for sure. With those two fixtures that are left, Bournemouth, I mean, incredible run, right? But they've got City at home and Forest away.
Oh,
Now
also
Forest will
With Villa, sorry, would
go.
you sell your Aston Villa assets or hold them? Especially with Watkins doing obviously what he's doing at the moment, but for
I'd
starting
definitely
gunning.
hold. I'd hold unless I've got someone else that I want. By the end of this podcast, I've convinced myself I want to bring in instead of him. But yeah, it'd be a hold for me against Liverpool because Liverpool don't exactly look good. And they've got to play their first team because they need to get a result here. I mean, if they draw this game against Liverpool, then Bournemouth have to beat City and Forest and obviously Villa would, if they'd have to lose to Man City away last day of the season. But yeah, for Bournemouth to have to win those last two games, otherwise they're no the Champions League. They're going to have to go whole hog. Are you considering any sales, Scott?
No, I don't think so. Like they look scary when you glance at them and see the colours on the screen there. But Liverpool, like I said, have been nowhere near it this year. You'd like to think Villa, on the back of the semi-final win where they absolutely steamrolled Forest off the park last week. They know they don't want to be whipping out a performance like they did against Spurs for that game. They want to make it sort of cement it there. So yeah, and City can concede now. We know that they're not the City of a couple of seasons ago, so they can concede. So yeah, I'd certainly hold for Liverpool. Reevaluate maybe for that last game of the season when you've got, let's be honest, you've got your transfers, you may as well use them. That's when I'd have a little reevaluate, but I'd probably look to hold.
Bournemouth play City. This is the top two in the form table going head to head. It's pretty. So this is not an easy game for City. I mean, to be honest, I looked at this one rather than the Everton game, which I thought it's a hard game for City. This one, but yeah, I mean, if they can't afford to obviously drop any more points, but Bournemouth near enough know they have to win. They could end up getting away with a draw here and beating Forest if Liverpool and obviously Liverpool beat Villa, but Bournemouth assets, quite a few of us have got them. I've got Tavernier and Hill. A lot of us that wild carded in 32 will have had them because of the double game week, etc. So for me, it's probably a hold on these guys, but you're probably just going to bench defenders this week. But I wouldn't be opposed to starting your midfielders from Bournemouth perspective. Anything to add on Bournemouth, Barry?
No.
No, fine. Thought you might want to name the back four. Um, the Brentford fixtures, Palace at home, Liverpool away, feels like a pretty obvious hold on your assets, but don't buy any, I'd have thought. Brighton. Now, Brighton have got Leeds away and Man U at home. They've got two teams there who have got absolutely nothing to play for, and Brighton are fifth in the form table and are fighting for a potential Champions League space. I'm currently sat there with three Brighton assets with Verbruggen, Van Heck, and Welbeck, and I'm more than happy with that. I've kind of taught Brighton to death the last couple of weeks. But Baz, would you be looking at potentially bringing in some Brighton assets with those fixtures
Yeah,
left?
definitely.
Play?
Yeah, you've got to, like I say, they're in form. They've got something to play for. Hinshelwood's in great form. Minteh's obviously got on the score sheet now as well. So the wingers are actually producing, but can that be consistent? And they've looked a bit more solid at the back as well. So and Van Ackers loves a DEFCON, even though I think he missed it by one against Wolves.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Great. So, but the Hinshelwood 3 goals in three, Scott. I mean, looking at the value on this guy, he is currently 5.1 million and 1.1% owned. Um, Great enabler to bring in, right? If you're trying to free up funds or move anybody around.
Yeah, I like it. Even just thinking ahead, like if you're not fancying those Villa fixtures, for instance, maybe that's when you potentially get rid of Rodgers. I'm assuming Rodgers is more expensive than that.
Yeah,
So yeah, he would be one I'd be looking at. Him and Fabian Gross.
of course, good old Fabian. But yeah, so Leeds and Man U, the last two fixtures, I really like those for Brighton. I wouldn't look. What do you think of Minteh though, Baz? Minteh versus Hinshelwood or Gross? Is he still probably third on that list because of potential minutes, or is he actually all right in terms of that? What do you think?
I think definitely third. I think the other pair, Fabian and Hinshelwood, they've been they've been consistent, getting points. Gross takes obviously set pieces, and Hinshelwood's got 3 and 3, so you can't shy away from that. Whereas
Yeah,
Minters just he popped up and scored against Wolves.
yeah,
Wow,
so
that's
yeah,
that's not really hard to do, is it?
yeah, fair point. Very well made, mate. Um, Burnley, obviously, we're not touching. Arsenal away. That
I
Wolves at
don't
home
love.
game.
By the way, just really quick, I don't love that Leeds away fixture though. It's gonna be Leeds' last home game in the season. They're gonna want to finish on a high. They're gonna want to get the party started. So I don't love that fixture personally. And you say Man United have got nothing to play for. Are they guaranteed third then?
Yeah, we're literally 6 points ahead of Liverpool and Villa, and they've got to play each other. So we're guaranteed. We are officially guaranteed fourth, definitely. But we're guaranteed third unless we lose our games and Liverpool win both of theirs, or Villa have win both of their games, and there's like an 11 goal difference turnaround.
Right.
We're near enough nailed on.
Fair play.
We're nailed on fourth, should be third. And we're just rubbish, man. I mean, that's the sort of thing that happens at the end of the day. I know we're not rubbish because we're third, and that's a silly statement. But like in these sort of scenarios, you just saw how we played then against Sunderland. Like we just I think there was two highlights from the whole game, and one of them was Sunderland hitting the post. So we're just that sort of team now for the rest of the season. Don't I suppose the key question would be: I own Bruno Fernandes. He's my only Man U player. I'm gonna hold him obviously because I think he's the guy who's going to be the person who's going to get points. And we play Forest at home, who also have nothing to play for this week. But yeah, I'm never buying any. That's
I
for
think
sure.
I think when we talk about freeing funds up, Mbeumo is an easy sell. He's
I've got
completely,
Bowen.
yeah, completely gone off the boil.
Yeah, totally agree. I think anyone else other than Bruno pretty much is a sell. I mean, you've got Maguire, he could sit on your bench. I mean, to be fair, he wouldn't even sit on your bench maybe that Forest game. But
Oh no,
still,
he'll probably be playing that game.
yeah. And it might even be set pieces or whatever for him to score. But yeah, Burnley, Arsenal away. That Wolves at home game. If you're chasing anyone in draft or you fancy a punt on like a Fleming or something on the last day of the season, I don't mind that for the Wolves fixture. But yeah, you wouldn't touch them obviously this week. Chelsea are an interesting bunch, aren't they? They're not very good, but they did get a draw against Liverpool. They've got Spurs and Sunderland, which should be good fixtures on paper. But is that a trap, Scott?
Spurs, yeah. I mean, Spurs, yeah, no, they're not great still, but they've definitely turned a slight corner under the Zerbi. They're looking more of a team. They got Madison, who was chomping, to be fair, when he came on the pitch last night. Um, they've got players that are in a bit of form, like Richarlison was unlucky. I thought not to return. Tell what a finish that was. I think I picked him for some kind of differential, so that was good.
Yeah,
And I
it did.
brought him in draft actually as well, so that went well. So yeah, I think that's a tricky fixture. And then Sunderland away, going back to what I said earlier about the last home games of the season, great season for Sunderland. They're going to want to finish on a high, aren't they, for the last game? So no, I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be touching Chelsea players. I think the last few weeks they've been nothing short of a disgrace. If I'm a Chelsea fan, I want pretty much all those transfer listed. I think it's shocking. When we talked about who would get in the Champions League, I think we all said Chelsea would do it, and they've fallen off a cliff.
Yeah. Same amount of points as Burnley and Wolves in the last 5 games. Awful. I think they've won. They're awful. Palace now is going to
They're going to
invest
get
in.
battered on Saturday. It's going to be a 5-0 FA Cup win for City.
Yeah, it's going to fall apart, aren't they? Obviously, no one's buying Palace. They're probably sells as well. Brentford away and Arsenal at home with the cup game coming up. I do like. I mean, it's not sells for the Brentford game, maybe, but for the Arsenal game, there would be. I think they'd be giving players like Mateta minutes and stuff to look good. But no one's going to buy anybody. They'd probably a hold for Brentford and a sell for Arsenal. Um, Everton, Baz. I want to talk about Everton. You brought Beto in, Scott, which is, I mean, he's on flames, isn't he? I mean, that goal he scored. What a different player he is when he's confident. Unbelievable, like muscle, do it, and then nutmeg the keeper. I mean, who's this guy, and where's he come from? But Baz, Sunderland at home, Spurs away. Where do we go? Is Beto the man?
Is definitely worth a gamble on. Put it that way. The only problem is there's quite a few strikers that you think, oh yeah, he looks all right. Like for example, like a Welbeck, and you got Beto, you got obviously Haaland, and then you've got Gyökeres, and then you've got obviously a few potential others, like for example, like a Fleming, if you want to go crazy on the last game of the season. And like you say, he's looking good. He finished off in style. He's obviously got the shirt. He's got the starting number 9 shirt because obviously I thought Barry came on and destroyed City. I thought he might get it, and I gambled on the differential draft, but unfortunately I lost on that one massively. Um, but yeah, I think obviously it's definitely worth a punt. Saves you obviously a bit of money, but I think quite a lot of us have all got money because we haven't got the Salah and the Haaland double up. But also you've got the midfield and Dewsbury Hall. I brought Dewsbury Hall in and got obviously an assist, got 5 points, and obviously going forward, I think it's definitely worth a shot. He's got 4 returns in his last 5, so obviously he's in great form. So it's definitely someone that I was thinking, yes, I want to get him in, and I got him in instead of Enzo, and then Enzo obviously scored. During my FPL season, but I think they're probably the only 3 that I would focus on again in Everton. I wouldn't touch the defence. It's just a bit too unsure, even though Tarkowski had an absolute miracle game and got 15 points or whatever he got.
Well, that was the question I was going to ask you, Baz, because between Beto, Dewsbury Hall, and Jai, I mean, Roll's obviously playing on the right side, but like it's quite difficult because they're all really good value. I mean, Beto's 5 million, which is really cheap for an informed striker. Dewsbury Hall at 5.2 and Jai at 6.2. I still think Dewsbury Hall over and Jai for that million it makes a difference. Some great enablers, but yeah, they're just not keeping the clean sheets, are they? And also 5.7 million seems steep, doesn't it? I mean, if you're going to go in the defence, you're probably coming down to like an O'Brien, but even at 4.9, Keane's going to play because I think he's Branthwaite's out for the season, isn't he?
Yeah.
So I mean, he's 4.5, but yeah, I agree with you. Let's not worry about the defence on that one. But yeah, they're great enablers. Fulham, Scott. Wolves away, Newcastle at home. So the worst team in the Premier League and a team that's got nothing to play for. Is the main problem, and this keep going, main problem with Fulham at the moment is that no one's in form.
Yeah, and you've got no one in form, so you've got like a Harry Wilson that's obviously fallen away now, hasn't he? It was always going to happen. And Fulham kind of just doing what they always do. We get to like March and end of February, March, and it's like, oh, Fulham have got a chance of Europe, and then they just can't be asked. And then they're just really just like, nah, we'll call it a day, lads.
It's so true. They've lost 3 of the last 5. They've got 1 win. I mean, imagine if they'd literally got 3 more points on the board, then they'd be on 51 and they'd be level with Brentford, the European spot.
It's crazy, isn't it?
They just can't do it.
Crazy. So yeah, just no one I would think of at all to even look at. They're not scoring. They've scored 1 goal in 6 games.
Yeah, it's
Mm.
mental, mate.
Yeah, they've just fallen off. So as a broader football thing, I think as a bit of a shout, I think the manager might go this summer. I think he's taken him as far as he can, and I think he's a bit more ambitious and might be someone that a few clubs are looking at.
I totally agree with that statement, Scott. And also, Anderson's now out because he decided to jump tackle someone. Well done, Anderson. He was also the most informed outfield player in FPL. So never mind, everybody. Anything to add on Fulham, Baz, before we move on to Leeds?
No.
Danger with Leeds is Brighton at home, West Ham away. 2 teams that are playing for something. Leeds aren't playing for anything. Are they just a hold bench kind of forget about, or would you still be sort of starting Okafor this week, Baz, if you had him and DCL?
That's my decision I've got. I'm like, shall I up? I've got some funds because obviously I've downgraded Enzo to Dewsbury Hall. I'm thinking I've got the funds to go from DCL to Gyökeres. And I'm like, is it worth that? Obviously, DCL scored a penalty, and he's one of them that runs a line pretty well for Leeds. But obviously, Leeds mixed it up a bit. They started obviously James, so it's one of them. Are they giving like their fringe players a chance to say, look, do what you can do in these last 2 games? Obviously, we've got nothing to play for. If you play well, then we might think about keeping you on next season, or keep playing them and go, right, actually they've done well here, right? That increases your market value, and we can sell them for more. So for me, I'm on the cusp of Calvert-Lewin's out, Gyökeres is in for me.
I think so. I think that makes sense. I think you're probably moving Calvert-Lewin out for somebody else, I'd have thought. Because also, he's just one of those players where, I mean, has he got a contract for next season at Leeds? Do you know?
I
I,
don't
I don't, I don't know if he's out of contract. I think he might have another year left, I think. But if he does have another year left, he's the sort of player that they won't want to risk getting an injury, like because he's so valuable to them. They're probably starting a Metro or whatever. He's got a 3-year contract, has he? So is
Yeah,
it this? So he's got 2 years left.
2 years left. But if you're Dominic Calvert-Lewin, you're banging on the door, aren't you? Saying I've
We're in
still got half
England,
a
yeah.
chance of England here.
Yeah, I think.
know. Yeah.
Yeah, I still think I think it's just a Watkins job. If we're
I
going to
think
get
it is. But
backup stars,
Watkins has got 3 games left to play yet. Could get injured.
well, you never know. Well, he did cut his head, didn't he? Playing with a plaster on. Bless him. That was brutal offside, that one. Like Rogers fired the ball and it hit him in the head and went in, and he was like, "Yeah, I've scored." And he was offside by the width of his big toe. But there you go.
So I wonder where you're going. Then. Big what?
Hey. Anything to add on the lead, Scott, before I move on to Liverpool?
Nah.
Don't need to talk about that red lot anyway. City, Scott. Someone's banning the Liverpool assets. City, obviously, they've got a really tough game against Bournemouth. They play Villa at home last day of the season, which you'd have thought would be okay, considering they've got the European final before that. And if they lose, they'll be sad, and if they win, they'll be drunk. So you'd have thought that last game of the season is pretty good for City. Bournemouth game's tough. Most people are on 3 City anyway because of the double game week. You're on 2 midfield, 1 attack. Happy with that?
Yeah, I am because they're both City and Bournemouth need to win that game. So I can't. And Bournemouth, I don't think they ever, certainly not since they've been back in the Premier League, have not been a team that just sort of sat back. They both win games by playing attacking football. So I think it will be a high scoring game. So I'm quite happy the fact that I have got my 3 attacking City assets. what I will say as well, and I know people that just play FPL won't care about this, but the way I see it as well is the other one that I might want is as a defender is O'Reilly, but I cover that off by having him in draft mode, so that helps me mentally. Um, so yeah, I'm quite happy. Look, Doku's one of the form players in the league at the minute. We talked about it. I still think it's a tricky one, isn't it? Like they play tomorrow night, so I think we've got to wait and see a little bit for that. See if there's any injuries. See sort of what he does with the team on that one, and then they've obviously got the FA Cup final. So that's a bit of a spanner in the works because you've got to do your transfers before the FA Cup final. You don't know if anyone's going to get injured in that game.
It's a real pain, that, Scott, and it's a really good point because of the Friday deadline, because the Villa games had to move because of the Europa League final. Like
Yeah.
we normally would have this wonderful like Sunday deadline, and we'd have ages, and we'd probably get some team leaks for anyone who pays attention to that stuff. And instead, now we've got to make our decisions by Friday tea time.
Yeah, I think
for a
if you've
game
got
that's
a
on
pull,
Tuesday.
I think if you've got, I think you need, I think you probably want three City players. I think you'd want Haaland, guaranteed. He seems like he's on a bit of form at the minute. I feel like you'd want Doku, and then it's whether you go. If you've got Semenyo, you're probably keeping him. If you haven't, Cherky or O'Reilly, I think a good shout. So I think that's your five players for me. I would want three of them still.
Yeah. The key thing is like City haven't lost a Premier League game since they lost to the greatest football club in the world, of course. 2-0 back in game week 22. Like they've literally not lost a league game. They've not failed to score in any of the league games, and they've scored 3 goals 3 times in the last 5. Whereas they have kept 3 clean sheets, to be fair, in the last 5, sorry, as well. So yeah, they're a team that's scoring goals, and I agree. You absolutely want to have someone like Doku in there. You absolutely want to have someone like Doku in there. You absolutely need to have attacker. I made the sideways move from Semenyo to Doku, and there's no regrets in that one. The Matt Semenyo's just out of form at the moment, isn't he, Baz?
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Yeah. United wouldn't touch. Newcastle are interesting. I brought in Bruno Guimaraes this week because I completely agreed with what you said on the podcast like last week, Baz. They're a different team when he plays. He had loads of attacking chances to score in the game. He should have probably got 1, if not 2 goals. He might have even taken the penalty at the end if they'd have got it. If they'd have got one at the end. There was a shout at the end. I can't remember what happened in the game or which match of the day. But West Ham at home, Fulham away. Is the risk, Baz, that they're just not that good and West Ham have got a lot to play for? They are at home. Is it just, or yeah, what do you think?
I think St James's Park, last home game, like what Scott was saying about Leeds' last home fixture, they'll be up for that. Obviously, the Geordies would be all over it if they lose that game. I'm expecting at least 2-0 win for Newcastle, even though West Ham need to fight for it. No way is Newcastle losing that game. No way at all.
Interesting, isn't it? Yeah, not sure. Scott, what's your take on Newcastle? Are they a trap? I went for Bruno because he's just sort of talismanic, really. I know he's going to play, and I think he's going to get returns. But what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, West Ham have to win that game of football. No qualms about it. So they're not going to be. You at some point in the game they're going to be open wide. So don't mind the attacking assets. Someone that we've not touched on, and I know he's definitely a bit of an outside shout, but Osula. I know he didn't score last game, but he's been in not bad form last few games. He's been starting as well. They started him and Volterminer last game. So I'm assuming Volterminer did he start more of an out number 9 and was Osula more off like a wing?
No, Osula was in front of him.
Yeah.
Volterminer was more in a 10, and then they played like Joe Linton and someone else with Guimaraes and Tonali behind, I think, from what I can remember.
Okay, fair play. Murphy started that game, yeah.
Murphy on the other side, yeah.
So he could be a bit of a rogue one. Certainly, we talk about draft mode. Certainly want to get an in draft.
Yeah,
Again,
agreed.
him and Beto have been carrying me over this line the last few weeks. But yeah, I don't mind those fixtures. I agree. I think Newcastle win that game, so I would like to go for one attacking one, but that'll probably be Bruno.
I'm gonna mention someone I'm gonna get in draft if he's not been taken already this week. Is gonna be Harvey Barnes because he has scored two and two. He's come off the bench and done that in his last two, and you know what he's like. He just goes flames and then nothing, doesn't he? He's that type of player. So if he is available in either draft mode I'm playing, he's a guy I'd be looking to get in and take a punt on this week. Never buying him in main fantasy, but
I sold him a couple of weeks. I got rid of him a couple of weeks in draft, so unless anyone's picked him up.
well, to be fair, it was the right move to get rid of him, and then he scored two and two, and so he's an interesting player who's very very streaky, isn't he?
Is that there, mate, available?
Nice. Well, he's going to be on my waivers unless I get drunk again. So, Forest, which is definitely possible when my season's going, just get four cans in. Forest, no one's touching them. I mean, those games, anything can happen really, but no one's touching them. Spurs, you've talked about Tell. Porro seems to get some bits and bats. Richarlison starting. Well, they've got to get some results. Barry, do you think it is time to maybe, if you're chasing, to take some shots?
Yeah, there's taking shots and then there's suicidal shots. But to be fair, Tell did take his goal really well, but then his madness of why didn't you just head it away instead of going for an overhead kick in your own box? Absolute suicidal.
Well, one of the
Uh,
only stupid thing he did. Did you see that pass he did in the first half?
yeah,
Instead
Well,
of
I
getting
didn't
rid of
realise.
it, he played it just like to the guy, the centre back in like the 6 yard box. Leeds United player almost got it. It was like such a stupid thing to do.
Was it? I
right.
didn't see that.
So yeah, but who I liked the most, I'd love for him to start is Madison. He was coming deep to get the ball. He always wanted it. He nearly got a penalty at the end. And I think if he's available in draft, I think I might actually get this guy in a waiver. Just obviously makes it up a bit. Because it's a gamble massively because is he going to start? But obviously the 5-10 minutes he played at the end, it just literally they were looking for him. It was like, right, where's Madison? I need to give him the ball because he's going to create something for us. And I think he's definitely going to be someone with a massive shout for these last two games for Tottenham.
Yeah, he's probably going to get an hour across the two games, maybe two sets of 30 minutes or something. And he's that sort of player. We're coming back from injury, so but the impact he can have in that period of time, I totally agree. But we all know the ceiling he's got.
Mm.
Like he's a very good draft gamble. Again, you're never buying him in main at 6.8. Like you're just never going to do that. If you're going to buy anyone in main, you're buying Tell. Two attacking returns in two starts. Looks dangerous, scored a good goal, confident enough to do bicycle kicks in his own penalty area, even though he took someone's head off. He's the sort of player you're going to buy. Um, Richarlison's got a goal in him, though, don't you? He scored obviously against Villa, but and an assist to be fair against Wolves. He's a sort of player that's going to end up. He's just going to be involved in some controversy. That Everton
Yeah,
game against his old club, it's going to. He's a nasty player. He's a player who wants your team, but not you want to play against. I feel like he's got something to say. So
but his finishing was atrocious last night.
yeah, because he's overrated, a bit weird. So, it's just an odd player, isn't he? He's got
What
some goals in
what
him.
what I'd say about James Madison, if they're going into that last game and it's done and dusted, I think they'd be stupid to play him. I think
Mm.
don't play him. Get him into the summer, get a preseason, then get him fully up to speed. Last thing you want to do is him picking another injury up and then been out until Christmas again.
I agree with that, Scott,
Hmm.
as well. Yes. Um, Anything else on Spurs, Baz?
Nope.
Sunderland is Mukiele, isn't it, really, Scott? Unless you want a third sub him or whatever people do sometimes.
Yeah.
Um,
don't mind the Mukiele shout. He's showed as well in the last few weeks. He's got attacking returns in him. He's another one of those players where you watch him and you think, are you a right back? Left back, where he is, whatever.
Right back, yeah.
Right back, yeah. Are you a right back? Are you a right winger? Like, he's never where you think he's going to be.
5 mil next season in FPL, any Baz?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be 5. All the Sunderland defence is going to be 4.5, except for maybe Dan Ballard, and he's going to be 5 mil. Mukiele, you can see it now, can't you?
So getting relegated next season, aren't they?
Yeah. And that manager's gone by Christmas, and it's all falling apart. Last two teams are West Ham and Wolves. Obviously, no one's buying any Wolves players unless we've got some gambling problems, Barry. West Ham have Newcastle away and Leeds at home. They have to win these games. Is there anybody, Scott, that you would gamble on in this West Ham team in main fantasy Premier League?
No, but the only one is when I watched the game the other day, I thought one of the better players is one of Baz's mates. Actually, was Juve. I thought he looked quite good. As far as going forward more than anything. But do I think they're keeping a clean sheet against Newcastle? Well, no, we've both just said that. And then I honestly think they go into that last game. I think they're down. I think they lose and Spurs win the next game.
Jared, Harry, 2 assists against Everton, 3 assists against Wolves. A bit random. But he's not actually scored a goal since game week. On my way. 24.
Yeah, it looks like he's gone off the ball a bit, and I think it's Summerville that excites me the most now. For when he gets the ball, I get Doku vibes. He goes past that player. He's doing something that I think just get that end product, and obviously you're going to be staying in the Premier League when West Ham go down. Obviously Bowen's linked with obviously other clubs, big clubs as well, like for example like Liverpool. So obviously his head might be slightly turned by that, but obviously Mr. West Ham himself, I don't think he is. It's just he needs that goal to get in, and then obviously be back to himself, because obviously all at the moment he's just getting assists. But Summerville for me is the one that I would gamble on, but I'd only gamble on a draft, and I don't think I would go for any of these players in normal.
Yeah, totally agree, mate. Yeah,
even though I have liked outside of obviously fancy, because he's not a fancy pick, is Fernandes in midfield for him. He's the same. He's getting on the ball, creating stuff. But yeah, that's apart from that.
I think the only other player in draft you could chuck into maybe Mavropanos, because he looks good from set pieces, doesn't he? In terms of attacking returns. You're not keeping clean sheets there. Sorry, Scott, I cut you off then.
No, I can't remember what I was saying.
No, don't worry. It's probably don't invest in West Ham while we're talking about him.
Oh, I was going to say Fernandes. I'm looking forward to seeing him at Everton next season.
Yeah, probably.
Or maybe Spurs, actually.
Yeah, Dewsbury Hall, Madison. It's probably Spurs, isn't it? Because of Madison's
injury.
Dewsbury Hall.
Apparently, that was in BBC Gossip today.
Fernandes back up to Fernandes. You could see it, can't you? So there's one fixture left of this week, which is tomorrow night, or potentially tonight, whenever you listen to this podcast, or it might have already happened. Man City against Crystal Palace. So there's one fixture left of game week 36.
Ooh,
game week 30. Oh, go on.
Do we do a score prediction?
Yeah, sure. Go on then. Let's do it. As they at home, City, aren't they? Yeah, go on. What do you want to go for, Baz?
I'm going to go for 3-0 again.
Okay. 3-0. Scott?
2-0.
I'm going to go 5-0.
Lovely.
Go. Why not? Right. Friday deadline. 6:30 before Villa play Liverpool. Massive game for Champions League qualification. That's an 8 o'clock kickoff, so 6:30 on Friday the 15th of May is the deadline. And then nothing on Saturday because it's cup final. City Chelsea. And then it's United against Forest, Brentford Palace, Everton Sunderland, Leeds Brighton, Wolves Fulham, Newcastle West Ham. Then you've got Arsenal Burnley Monday Night Football. Hello, Scout. Arsenal Burnley Monday Night Football, and then Tuesday we've got Bournemouth Man City, and then Chelsea Spurs to finish off. Where are we thinking about captaincy this week, Scout? What are you thinking?
Who do you think for captaincy? Do you think Arsenal? Do you think Arsenal?
Hello.
What about up there?
Iron. Well done up the iron. You're teaching it well, mate. But Arsenal Burnley seems to be the standout fixture, doesn't it? Saka or Gyökeres? Well, that's what we're thinking, Scout. Who am I going to captain?
I've got a question for you. Alex wants to know Saka or Gyökeres. Which one? Gyökeres.
Gyökeres.
There we go.
I'm going to captain Gyökeres just for you, Scout.
There we go.
Just for you. Nailed on. That's better than doing Baz's wheel.
Yeah, it is. Those better.
What do you think, Barry? Where's your captain armband going to go, mate?
I think it probably has to be on one of them assets for Arsenal. Maybe even a Gabriel. Why not?
Ooh, on the triple defence, Gabriel. Loving it. Yeah, exciting. Yeah, Scott, where's your captain's armband at the moment?
Hello. At the minute, where's my captain's armband? No idea. Haaland at the minute. I will be. I don't know. I think it will be Saka or Gyökeres if I bring one of them in.
Yeah,
I'm not too sure though.
I think it's got to be, isn't it? It's got to be one of the Arsenal assets against Burnley. I mean, that sort of fixture is just an absolute give me, really.
Yeah, don't mind a Gabriel. I mean, I've never captained Raya, so potentially Gabriel captaincy.
Yeah, I don't blame you for that one. Fine. Barry, have I forgotten anything? Because we haven't got any differential drafts because we've still got one game left.
Oh, mate, covered everything.
Covered everything. Right, let's let you get home. Thank you ever so much for joining us, everyone, this week. I hope we've covered all of your questions or queries by going through all of the teams this week. I think that was the right thing to do. And I'm happy at the moment with my 3 Arsenal, 3 City, 3 Brighton. So that's all good, and a few other form players in and around, a sprinkling of other players. That's all good. Yeah, good. Don't forget to follow us. Social media platforms, All in Football Pod, All in Football P on X, Instagram, TikTok, FPL Affairs, Facebook group as well. Barry, don't forget to like the video on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, and then also give us 5 stars where you get your podcast from. Click the little bell icon. Scott, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Scout's just getting a bed out for Saturday.
Oh, excited. I'm looking forward to that Eurovision party. I mean, just to get an excuse to get through. I like it. Paw Patrol, is it?
Obviously, life is Paw Patrol at the minute.
Oh, that's great. Her and Roman are going to have the best time ever watching that there because he's got all of the toys, except he's really annoying because he doesn't have Everest at the moment. Yeah.
Ella's just bought her all the toys for her birthday.
Oh, very nice. Exciting. Hope she's not listening to that. Don't let her listen to the end bit of this podcast. Give it all away. Barry, Differential King, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And it's goodbye from all of us. Goodbye from me.